Hi, I'm Ashley Goodchild and welcome to the PM Collective podcast, where I invite you to listen to opinions and stories that are relevant in the property management world. I hope you enjoy today's episode. Today, we are going to talk about COVID and how it's affected our businesses. So I'm joined by Leah, Donna and Jamie to chat to you all about the changes that have been made. There hasn't been anything drastic. I guess I get a little bit sick of hearing people talk about all these massive changes that they're making. But to be honest, I think the ones making these massive changes, and it's been completely life-changing for them, are ones that probably weren't working as efficiently as they probably should have been at the start. Like maybe they weren't cloud-based and things like that. So for us, our office was we were 9 till 5. We are now closing at 4 o'clock, purely just because we are out doing lots of viewings after 4 o'clock. So we just thought we'd make that small change. Our viewings and our routine inspections are going to be staying the same at this stage. We personally like a bit more of the old school element, so we haven't made any changes there. And working from home or increasing that with the staff, it's not something that we plan to do. Most of our staff like being in the office, but for me, I think it's just about boundaries. So I am continuing with no working from home and only in the office. So nothing really on my end, but I will get Donna to share her changes that she's making since COVID.
Thanks, Ash. And look, for us, we took the view very early on that people were going to accept change now more than ever before. So this was a great opportunity to improve our processes. And we had introduced online tenant applications back in December. So when COVID hit, we raced around, took a whole bunch of walkthrough videos, posted them on our YouTube channel, and then we started pre-qualifying tenants. So they would fill out their online application, they would be pre-qualified, and then we'd make an appointment to meet them on site. So we reduced the contact, but we also made our time more efficient and also the time of the tenant. So the turnaround time was much faster for applicants who were quite keen to get in and bunker down and get settled during COVID. And probably the other thing that we've adopted that we're going to continue is a 2 p.m. team check-in every single day. Now, during COVID, there were so many changes on a daily basis. There was announcements, issues that had popped up in the office with tenants losing their jobs, loss of income, the time that we needed to spend respectfully going through the process with both tenants and owners. So for us, that team check-in was essential. And even some of our team that didn't work on a Monday or didn't work on a Wednesday, they wanted to dial in at 2 o'clock because they didn't want to miss out. And the flexibility of sending them all home also came about effortlessly as a result of us being paperless. So literally they just picked up their computer, went home, but they just didn't want to miss out. So for us, it's been a bit of a team bonding exercise, and it's maybe introduced some more efficiencies into the business.
And so routine inspections, are you planning on doing any virtual or keeping that the same?
We stopped routine inspections on the 18th of March and we reintroduced them in person on the 18th of May. I am of the view that the extra time it took to ask tenants to contribute with photos or Zoom did sort of outweigh the benefit of us as property managers actually entering the property and doing the checks. So it's not something we adopted, no.
Yeah, I agree. I think that our staff all preferred to actually just go out and do the routine inspection in person because the admin of dealing with the photos and, working out comments from that was too difficult. And I think the only offices that are probably implementing more of the every second inspection being done virtually are probably the ones that have got virtual assistants where they've got someone who can do the back-end admin of it and save time there. But yeah, that's just my opinion with the routine inspections. And what about you, Leah?
We also adopted the online application process at a similar time as Donna, and we made the change with COVID to have applications come in before tenant viewed the property. We've also found it to be a fantastic change. Our vacancy rate is currently under 1% as of today. we ended our routine inspections on the 27th of March, and I think we kicked them back off on the 1st of May. So we just pushed everything forward a month so that we didn't miss any. They would just run a month later. We are in the process of setting up a ability to do remote. We're just having some difficulty with some tenants providing access if they're unwell or if they're immunocompromised. So we are doing it for those ones, but for the rest of them, we are going inside and attending the inspection. And the feedback from our clients and our owners is that's what they want. They want us to physically inspect the property.
And what program are you using for your applications?
Applications, we're using a program called Tenant Options, which is Donna and I love it. Hi, Michael.
Yeah, I'm going to look into it, but I actually found that it was a bit of a point of difference with us not getting the application first, because when we showed people through properties, they were actually more thankful that they didn't have to do the online application first. So they were actually finding it frustrating. But I think that's just a completely Leah and I work in completely different areas, and I think that is just to do with clientele and it probably to be fair to Leah, it's probably mindset on my part as well, just not getting my head around the idea of processing the application first. But and because our properties are all quite local, it doesn't really take us much time to pop out and have a quick look at the property. But Leah has assured me that Tenant Options is a very good cost-saving program to use. So I think that I'll probably give that a go at some stage.
And I think too, the volume and location is different. The actual volume of inquiries that Donna and I would probably get on every single property is quite high. So to physically show the amount of tenants who wanted to view it without getting an application was a lot of time and a lot of effort. And they were for people that maybe didn't meet the requirements of the owner. So we found it has reduced the turnaround time quite dramatically. And the tenants have actually really enjoyed it because your application is coming in, it's getting processed quicker, and then we're shortlisting them. And when we do show them through the property, it's a lot more personal. So we can spend some time speaking to them instead of having 40 people walk through the property at the same time. So
what's your percentage for declining applications? I know it's high, and that's why I'm asking you.
I think we're sitting at 72% that get declined.
Wow. But you know what? Like, funny enough, I was doing my stats the other day, and we are only accepting, 35%. So, 65% decline rate. We're actually doing the same. Like, the quality of applications I'm just finding is shocking at the moment.
And the great thing about Tenant Options is it's a really user-friendly program to not just the tenants filling out the application, but also to the references that get sent off to other property managers. I did get an inquiry yesterday from, I guess, a competing online app, and I found that a really tiresome process. But I feel that the program that we've adopted and introduced is user-friendly to the tenants, so they love it. And once they've got their application, they can reuse it at some point down the track.
Is it user-friendly to the property manager that's receiving the reference to check?
I believe it's more user-friendly than some of the competitors in the marketplace. So to property managers out there not using it, I don't know if we're allowed to add, but I think it is much user-friendly to the person receiving the reference request than, a competing software.
Because I know that, like, when we get reference checks, and I can't even tell you, I don't even know which program it's from, but it's got like 15 questions to answer. It's like an automated email. And my team are just like, not answering that. The person can get on the phone and do a phone reference. Like, they find it really annoying. So that's probably my only hesitation, is that I'd be a bit of a hypocrite if I started doing that with everybody for references. But
if your property managers are not using online now, they will love you if you introduce it. I guarantee you.
I can be converted.
You're going to reduce their time in processing applications.
I think it's a watch this space sort of thing. I think because of the market changing, I think it's a watch this space. I mean, we had 74 applications last month, and processing them is a huge task, as well as getting the right candidate in the property. So I think it's going to be a balance. I think it's going to be watch this space over the next few months.
What's your hit rate with applications being?
We're the same. We so 74 applications, only 16 accepted. So I'd probably say we're very similar in our decline. It's not necessarily quality. I'd say 50% was quality, and I think the 50% is numbers. I think you've got a large number now coming through. So I definitely think it's a watch this space.
Yeah, and what about you, Donna?
Oh, look, ours is huge. I think on one particular property alone, we declined 19 applications. And I think we're at probably 70 to 75% decline.
And to give like Perth people an idea who is listening to this, so the four of us are really consistent with that decline rate, and we're talking about properties from Armidale and Kelmscott up to South Perth, down to Rockingham, Victoria Park, completely different areas and markets, and we're all experiencing the same, the same lack of quality in the application. So it's quite interesting. Did we do you, Jamie, with your changes for COVID?
No, but I don't. I think mine are pretty similar. We didn't do inspections in April. In May, our team definitely found it easier to get out there. We will do them digitally if needs be, but I do think there's a lot you can see when getting out there and getting a feel. We definitely chose COVID to refocus on what's important. I think that was the great thing for everyone. You worked out what was important and what wasn't. We did a lot of changing, so we're going to keep rolling with change. I think it's really easy for people to nestle back into their comfort zones. So we're going to keep rolling out the digital changes where possible. And we tried to do a lot of video. So we did a lot of video to try to connect with people. But I think for us, it was all pretty similar other than trying to reconnect with people and I think keep the changes rolling.
And is anybody working from home? Is anyone,
Our team's always been able to work from home if they wanted to. We've always found that one day at home is probably quite effective. So we've allowed them to work from home, but it is interesting. A majority of them, 90% of the time, will still come into the office because I think no matter what, PM is a team thing. PM's like a discuss, I had this phone call, I had this bad one. And I do think that when you come together, you alleviate stress together and you get that bonding. So it's interesting that they all still choose to come in.
Yeah, I think our team all decided to come in as well because, if you're having a bad situation or, something that's happened, it's certainly a lot easier just to all have a bit of a laugh about it, get it out of the system and move on. So basically, generally the four of us, we're finding that since COVID, routine inspections staying the same. None of us have really implemented the virtual inspections too much. Change of the office hours has been a big one, and the applications before viewing is also a big, is also a big one. That if we're not doing it, we're certainly thinking about doing it. So that is from four very different offices in Perth and how we are managing life after COVID.
Thanks, Ash.